I am back, and today I am going to be doing a video where I sort through and declutter my makeup brushes. So I have excess makeup brushes sitting in this Ziploc, and then I keep all of my brushes that are on my vanity in this old candle container. So I am going to go through and sort through brushes kind of by category and tell you what I'm planning on keeping and what I'm not, and I thought that this overhead format would be better than a face format. So let me know what you think, and I hope you enjoy today's video. Starting out, I have these brushes. I used to have more. I think I got rid of them already. I have genuinely no clue where they went, but it's these like handled brushes, like full grip handled brushes with the flat face. I got these when Artiste brushes were all the rage here on YouTube, and these are super soft. Honestly, they probably work very well. I just never really felt that this was easier or more intuitive than using a regular brush, so I never ended up actually like reaching for them. And I would reach for them to play with them sometimes, but also some of these just have weird shapes unless you're going to be just like applying contour or some sort of color cosmetic to your face and then blending it out with your fingers or one of the larger ones. So in hindsight, I kind of regret buying these just because they were kind of a waste of money, but I think it was, you know, I'm glad I bought this like probably $20 set from Amazon instead of an Artiste brush, and realizing that I didn't actually really care for it. Then I'm just going to pull out some brushes that are quite old and I know just need to be let go of for whatever reason. One such brush is this little Ulta eyeshadow brush that came with a set of some sort. I also have a Sonia Kashuk little mini brush that needs to be let go of. And this like teeny tiny Kala brush. I've had this forever, and this is too small. I don't use little teeny tiny brushes like this very often, so I don't need more than one. And that's it for all the brushes that I've just like refused to throw away over the years. Now I'm going to go through all of my brushes that I would consider like a foundation brush. As you can see, I have a lot, and I think I'm going to significantly cut back in this area. I used this one recently to apply my Stila highlighter all over my face, or no, sorry, all over like my chest and shoulders, and it worked really well, and I think that I will continue holding on to it for those kinds of purposes. Occasionally I will use products that are very shimmery and I want to spread them over a large area, so I will hold on to this. This is my favorite foundation brush. It's very nice, and so I'm going to hold on to this as well. And I do like having a stipple brush because certain products just work really well with them, so I will hold on to this as well. And I'm going to be getting rid of these 4. Now I'm going to go through all sorts of powder brushes. So this is brushes that can be used for powder, bronzer, and blush, and I mean you could use them for highlight too. I'm going to pull out the ones that stand out to me. My 2 Real Techniques ones are both very good. That's why they're dirty and need to be washed, because I use them all the time. This Morphe brush is actually really good for most blush formulas, so I will hold on to this one. This Ulta one I'm going to get rid of because it's realistically too small to be a blush brush for me, and I'm never going to use it. These 2 Dior brushes were a gift from my mom, so I'm going to hold on to them because they're very high quality. They're super soft, and I do use them. I need to get over the fact that they are so beautiful and they're definitely going to stain, and just go for it. I use this powder brush all the time from Moda. Came in a gift set. You'll see a lot of brushes with this type of handle, but this is a beautiful shape for blush, bronzer, and powder. This is where it gets tricky. I think I'm going to let go of this Hoola Benefit brush that comes with the Hoola bronzer. I don't think I've ever used it, and I don't think I ever will. And then these ones, like, they're fine. I don't have any issues with them. Actually, this brush I used to love, but it has started shedding a lot. So I think I am going to see, like, it's shedding right now as I'm holding on to it. I don't know if you can see the hairs that are coming off of my fingertips, but I really love this Bare Minerals blush. I've had it for about 8 years, and it's starting to get to the point where it sheds, and then I have to use a different brush to flick the hairs off of my face after I use it, and that really deters me from using it. So I think I am going to let this go. And then when I look at my brushes, I see that I have so many like face powder brushes, so I'm tempted to just let these go. I think I am, because I think I have another like big fluffy stippling brush sitting around somewhere, and I'll keep that when I find it, and then I'll have one other like powder brush that I can use. I have this entire subset of brushes that are like marketed as blending brushes or eye brushes. Like this one is called a blending brush right here, but they're not fluffy, or they're too dense. So like this brush is a brush that I love using for blending shades in the crease, and it's super fluffy. The bristles are spaced out very nicely. And for this one, they're just not as spaced out. You don't get as good of a blend. So I'm going to hold on to like 1 or 2 of these because they're good for smudging things and packing primer setting shades to the lid, but that's kind of it. So I'm going to hold on to this one and this one. And then I'm also going to hold on to this one because this is a little bit smaller and it does work for some more specific applications. It's not as fluffy, but because of that, you can kind of put a shade in a more targeted area. So it is nice for that. And the rest of these I am going to get rid of. Then we have like smudger brushes, I guess. The 2 that I keep and I use, or the 3 that I keep and I use all the time in my current dresser, kind of the little container that I keep with the rest of my day-to-day makeup, are these 3. This one is my favorite. This one I use for slightly more detailed smudging and liners, and then this one I use for smoky eyes. I really like all 3 of these. And then I could see myself keeping maybe 1 more kind of smudgy brush. This one's much smaller than this, like these other options, so I'm going to hold on to this one. This one I find a little bit too small, and these 2 are more dense and hard to get a good blend with. For kind of flat packer brushes, I am actually going to keep these 3 and get rid of this one because this one's just a little bit too small and I get annoyed with it when I'm doing my eyeshadow. And then blending shadow brushes. These clearly take up a large portion of my makeup repertoire, and I am going to keep a lot because I use them all the time. The ones that are calling out to me that I don't want to hold on to are this one, because it's one of the same set as I got rid of a couple other brushes from. I've had this since I was like 12. It's like a 10-year-old brush. I got it from like a family member who was getting rid of this little like travel set of brushes, and I just don't reach for things that are this small because they don't fit very nicely in the container that I store my brushes in. This ABH one is great for traveling and things like that because it's double-sided, and I do enjoy reaching for it in those occasions. This this brush is one of my favorites. I use it all the time. These are all the same brush. They're just different handles, but they come from the same company, and they're the same shape and size roughly. So I use these all the time. These two are also from that same company, and I use them quite often, and I really like it. This one's more angled and this one's more flat, but they do really well for washes of color all across the lid and in the crease. This is a good one for smudging out mistakes. And this one's a little bit more detailed because it has that pointed tip and that kind of curved edge, tapered edge, and it's really nice for fixing mistakes and trying to keep colors in certain areas. These three are all really good for building up color in the outer corner and blending it out and blending everything together. And then this e.l.f. one is just, it is a standard. I use it all the time. It is perfect for taking a color all over the lid and into the crease in like 5 seconds flat. And then the only brush that I have left at the end of all of this is this foundation brush. It's like one of those cat paw ones, as Scott Barnes calls it. I have never used this, and I doubt I ever will, so I am going to let go of this one. I have 2 highlighter brushes. I'm just going to hold on to both of them for now. Technically, I don't need both, but I don't know. I'll hold on to this, and I'll give it to a friend or something if they ever specifically ask for it, but I don't mind having 2. I don't think that's crazy excessive. Then for liner brushes, I am actually going to hold on to all of these. I have another one of this MAC one as well. Shadow as liner is one of my favorite ways to wear eyeliner, but I will also take these brushes and I do my brows with this one. I will take eyeliner pencils and pick up product with these, and because I use them so often, I like having a lot because then I don't have to you have to really thoroughly clean like a black shadow out of a brush before you can dip it in another color shadow. The only one that I'm getting rid of is this one because this shape is not my favorite for eyeliner. So this is everything that I'm keeping. It may seem a little excessive, but you know, I do other people's makeup quite often, and I also I like having a lot of options so that I don't have to be constantly cleaning my brushes, as if I only had like one bronzer brush or one blush brush. So that is everything. I know I have a couple miscellaneous brushes that are just floating around in the ether somewhere. If I find it and I like it, I'll keep it. If I find it and I don't like it, I will add it to the pile. But I didn't feel like scouring through my entire room and every single bag that I own just to find like maybe 1 or 2 more brushes. So that is everything for today's video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you are having an incredible, awesome day wherever you are, and that I get to see you in a future video. Thanks, guys.